and the real importance of these user-led groups, and also that when national supporter groups are formed, that they have in mind pan-disability. What we found happens, I guess to some extent naturally, is that somebody that uses a wheelchair will understand the challenges they face and perhaps some of the challenges other wheelchair users face. But what we must do is ensure that in asking for inclusion from outside our own little communities, that we also live by the same rules. So we have to be pan-disabled as well. We have to think not just about ourselves in terms of our own disabilities, but we have to think about our peers, our colleagues, our friends, our fellow fans, our fellow employees, and so on. To do that, we strongly advise that when you form disabled supporter groups at club level, that you really think about this and you make sure that it's always at the forefront of your conscience and at the forefront of representation of those groups. Further, we need to always think just beyond ourselves. Of course, we care about how we are treated, how we are welcomed when we go to visit our own clubs. And of course, we care when we travel as away fans about our own experience. But we have to be bigger and better than that. We have to think about those many disabled people who, for whatever reason, don't yet have the same enjoyment of a football match or being employed as a disabled person as some of us already enjoy and treasure. So we have to be bigger, we have to be better if we're going to make this game bigger and better. So please, please don't always think about what your experience is. Think about those people who perhaps are where you were 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years ago, when you didn't know whether you could go to a football match. And if we do that together, we can really change things much faster. So this next session really celebrates that. For those of you that haven't formed groups at your own clubs or haven't yet formed a national association, I hope that it inspires you to think to do so. Many of you will know that I'm also chair of Level Playing Field, the UK Disabled Supporters Group. And I'm very proud of the achievements of Level Playing Field since its inception in 1998. With funding support that, I believe you me, we've had to campaign and fight for at every step, and the resource is still not what it should be, we've managed to grow as an organisation, and the support we're able to give in England and Wales to football and now to many other sports is vital and important. And I was very pleased at the beginning of this year that we were able to appoint a chief executive to take some of the responsibilities away from me and my fellow trustees on a day-to-day basis. So if I can please welcome onto stage Stephanie Gadd, chief executive of Level Playing Field. I'm also delighted to welcome Dr. Volker Seeger, and Volker and I have known each other for some years now. He is the vice president of BBAG, which is the Federal Association of Disabled Football Fans in Germany, another user-led organisation that has been doing tremendous work for a long time. Without any further ado, I'd like to ask Steph, first of all, to tell us a bit more about what happens at Level Playing Field and how we have now developed to actually be taking on and providing professional access audits and mediation services to football clubs. And are they a threat, or is it just that basic total sense? Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, Joyce. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephanie Gadd, and I'm the Chief Executive of Level Playing Field. I'm delighted to have been invited here to speak at the second International Cafe Conference. It's great to see so many like-minded supporter groups and partner organisations in the room from across Europe. It's been fantastic to hear and see all the great work that's going on in other countries. As some of you may be aware, Level Playing Field is a National Disabled Supporters Association which covers England and Wales, as Joyce said. We have a wide range of members, including professional clubs, disabled supporters associations, and individuals, some of whom are here today. Our key objectives are to promote an inclusive agenda, to raise awareness, and to enhance well-being through sport by ensuring an equality of spectator experience for all fans. Level Playing Field supports the social model of disability, which I'm sure many are familiar with. This model states that people are only disabled or excluded because of the existing barriers within our society. For example, there being no lift access. Level Playing Field also provides support services and expert advice to its members and stakeholders, and represents the views, issues and concerns of disabled supporters to football and other sports governing bodies and to government. We provide independent expert advice on all matters relating to accessible sporting venues and inclusive match and event day experiences for disabled fans. We have acted as access consultants on various large-scale international tournaments, including London 2012 and the Rugby World Cup 2015, which concludes this afternoon when New Zealand go head-to-head with Australia in the final. Our works encompass a wide range of support services, and our stakeholders include architects, local planners, access officers, clubs, club managers, sports stadiums and other venues, policymakers, politicians and all party groups, media representatives and other fan groups, equality and disability organisations, and not least, disabled people, disabled sports fans, disabled supporters associations and their advocates. We are extremely proud of our achievements to date and the impact and influence we have had in improving the matchday experience for so many disabled people who enjoy watching live sport or aspire to do so. But there is still so much more to do to ensure equal and inclusive access for all fans. So we must keep access on the top of the agenda and not rest on our laurels. Thanks to a modest amount of funding we have received over the last few years, we have been able to recruit a small team of staff to support our work. Some of you may have spoken to them as they're all here at the conference. As well as lobbying for change and delivering disability awareness projects, we are also able to offer a professional range of expert services to clubs, fans, fan groups and other partners. The following few slides provides a brief overview of these services, which I hope you will find insightful and interesting. The first service I'm going to talk to you about is our Access Audit service. This is a paid service that we offer at NGO rates to partner organisations across all sports, including football, rugby, cricket and tennis. The audits are comprehensive and cover all aspects of the match day experience, right from the first point of contact, either online or via a ticket office, travel to and around the venue, to the fans' experience inside the venue itself, in terms of seating, sightlines, the provision of accessible services such as toilets and refreshments, and audio descriptive commentary. Our access audits are undertaken by trained access auditors with specific knowledge and experience of auditing sports venues, which pose different challenges to other public buildings. Each access audit varies depending on the size and nature of the venue, but each audit includes a match day and a non-match day experience to look at accessibility from all angles. The audit not only looks at the physical infrastructure, but also involves talking to key personnel and reviewing the club's policies and procedures, such as their ticketing policy for disabled people. Each access audit is also accompanied by a detailed access audit report, including photographs which help illustrate key points for discussion. The Access Audit Report also helps identify areas which meet standards and best practice, as well as giving recommendations and guidance on areas which can and should be looked to improved upon. This is in line with the Accessible Stadia and the UEFA and CAFE guidance, Access for All guidance, which many of you are familiar with, as well as current legislation in the UK, namely the Equality Act 2010 and Part M of UK Building Regulations, amongst others. Each club or venue also receives an action plan as part of their audit. This is aimed at helping them prioritise future improvements as part of the venue's wider development and maintenance plans, as well as ongoing support, advice and guidance from our access and development team. Another key service we offer is club mediation. We work with and assist individual fans and fan groups to resolve complaints and queries relating to their experience at sporting venues. The nature of these complaints is diverse and ranges from ticketing issues, issues with kit and ball colours, as mentioned in Catherine's presentation yesterday, poor sightlines, transport issues, a lack of disability awareness amongst club staff and stewards, to complaints about accessible services, or the lack of, in terms of audio descriptive commentary, hearing loops, and facilities for wheelchair users. This service can be taken up anonymously if need be, and is delivered by Nikki Baker and Ruth Hopkins, our Access and Development team. They liaise with the club and venue, and in many cases, the Disability Access Officer, or Disability Liaison Officer as it was formerly known, such as Alan at Arsenal Football Club, about the complaint and offer advice, guidance, and ongoing support to help resolve the issue. Sometimes this involves a visit to the venue or a meeting with the club or service provider. In other cases, it is remote support via phone or email and involves sharing best practice guidance and documents. To put this in perspective, last season we dealt with over 400 complaints and queries, and this is growing year on year as more people become aware of LPF, who we are and what we do. We also offer disability awareness, equality training, which is aimed at increasing awareness of access and inclusion amongst stakeholders. The training covers numerous topics, including the models and definitions of disability, an overview of equality legislation, discussion about the barriers disabled people face, and disability etiquette. Finally, another service we offer is design appraisal service, which involves assisting clubs and venues to appraise the accessibility of architectural designs, either of proposed improvements or of a new stadium build. This is a desktop exercise or could involve a site visit to the club or venue. Now to take a look at the impact of these services. We've found that there have been numerous benefits to offering these additional services to our stakeholders. These services have helped improve the matchday experience for many disabled fans by addressing key issues at particular clubs. Although this is very much the start of the journey for many clubs in terms of ensuring they are fully accessible, it has helped us to educate various stakeholders about access and inclusion at all levels of sport, from chief executive right down to matchday staff and stewards. We've already discussed that it is imperative that access is on the agenda at all levels of the game. We've been able to influence the design of new and existing venues to ensure they are fit for purpose and accessible for everyone as well. These services has helped us improve and strengthen our working relationships with clubs, venues, and national governing bodies, and to become trusted partners who are able to offer expert advice and guidance on all aspects of accessibility moving forward. Finally, by offering these services, it has helped raise the profile of our National Disabled Supporters Association and helped us reach new target audiences across England and Wales and across different sports. So that concludes my presentation about services. Thank you very much for your time. I'm part of the panel session, so if you want to ask me any questions, feel free.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Hope that's okay.
Thanks. That's great. Thanks.